Hey guys, if you're looking to start powerlifting and you're rocking on a budget, you've clicked on the right video. Today I'm going to be talking about the startup expenses as a new powerlifter and what to expect moving forward in the sport. What's going on, guys? It's your girl Lex back with another video, and as always repping for the 84 plus because super heavyweights need love too. Alright guys, so a few friends of mine and also people online have asked me, how did I get started in powerlifting? What do you have to do to get started in powerlifting? And the cool thing about YouTube is that there are so many videos on how to get started. But today what I want to do is give it to you brutally honest, because I know when I first started powerlifting, the first thought I had was, how much is it going to cost for me to start? Just like any other sport, there is going to be some type of expenses that you're going to have to pay, and it's also an investment in yourself. One of the first things I would suggest thinking about is, are you financially in a position where you can afford to buy new equipment and to afford a few other things that I want to talk about later in the video. But like I said a few minutes ago, one thing that you really have to consider is that it is a sport where you're investing in yourself. So you're going to be spending some type of money. Before you even take the step to invest in the sport, the first thing I would suggest knowing is why. Why are you trying to do powerlifting? What is your purpose? Are you trying to just do local meets? Are you trying to be the best there is in your weight class? That's something that you really have to think about before doing the sport, because it can get very pricey. So right now I'm just going to go through a few steps for you all and talk about each of those steps, what you should consider doing, and then also how much generally it's going to cost. Step one, you have to find a coach. There are a lot of people that call themselves a coach in the powerlifting community. However, you really have to sit down and think about what you're looking for. I would always consider looking at their credentials, their resume, looking at people that they've coached, looking at the success of the people that they've coached, because that's going to tell you a whole lot about the type of person that they are. A coach is more than just a programmer, just somebody that handles you, but you have to form a relationship with this person. So at the end of the day, you should be very comfortable with the person that is your coach. One thing that I think is a red flag as a coach, if you have someone that's not willing to teach you why they're doing the things that they're doing, why they're programming the way that they are, because to me, that just seems like they're withholding information from you. Me and my coach, we're very open about everything, and I think that's the key to success with a coach in your programming. You also need a coach that's going to be honest with you at all times. You don't need a friend, you don't need a pat on the back, you need someone that's going to help you build, help you become a better lifter. Now there are different ranges of coaches. You have coaches that only do programming, you have coaches that go as far as counting your macros and your nutrition. So those are also things to consider when you're looking at price range. What are you trying to get out of this? Because most likely what you're getting is what you're going to pay for. Prices for coaches honestly vary by the coach. They may be $50, they may be free, they may be hundreds of dollars every month. So that is something that you would have to talk to your coach. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna go $70 per month for a coach. Now to some people that may sound like a whole heck of a lot. Some people that may sound like nothing at all. So like I said, this is just a general number. Step two, you will need to find a gym to work out in. My personal experience, the first coach that I had, I actually worked out in his gym that was behind his house. So that saved me a membership fee to a commercial gym. A commercial gym is another option, but of course, the expenses of a gym may vary wherever you go. Another option would be a powerlifting gym specifically, which would be ideal for some people since it is very specific to the sport, and you'll most likely have coaches that are there. Of course, you can go on and do like CrossFit or any other type of gym, but again, the prices may vary, and sometimes I've seen in specialty gyms where the prices are actually much more than like a commercial gym. I've had an experience in both a commercial gym and a powerlifting gym, also a private gym. Personally, I enjoy the private gym a little bit more. Powerlifting gyms are really nice. Commercial gyms get the job done, however, you have to deal with it being packed, you have to deal with maybe the equipment not being the best. So those are some things to consider when you're trying to pick a gym along with the cost. Right now, I pay about $35 a month for a commercial gym membership. So that's probably on the lower end. You do have some gyms that will charge you much more. Something else to consider when looking for a gym is, are you working out with anyone? It's nice to work out by yourself for me. However, some people may like the atmosphere of being around someone else, maybe holding themselves accountable. But obviously in a private gym, you won't necessarily have that accountability unless your coach does work out with you. Step number 3. In this world of powerlifting, there are so many federations. Just alone, if you're looking at international powerlifting federations, you have the IPF, the WRPF, the IRP, but that's just to name a few. There are a whole lot more in the United States, like the USVI, the USPA, the USAPL. There's just so many federations in the USA. I suggest maybe going on their website, looking to see what they're all about, and make your decision from there. I'll start with the USAPL because that's the original federation that I was in. The expenses vary per the category that you're in. For the Open, Masters, and Junior category, you're gonna be looking around $65. For the team, membership fees are $40. For the youth, $25. And for Special Olympians, $20. Now again, membership fees for different federations may change or they may vary. In the USVIPF, I only pay $31.20 for my membership fee. But like I said, those memberships will vary depending on the federation that you are in. Before even picking a federation, what I would do is consider all things. Consider, what that federation is about, where those meets are. I encourage you all to actually go and look at some of these meets. Most of them will be online, but actually go to a meet, see how it's ran before you decide to join a federation. Step 4, and probably one of the most costly parts of being a powerlifter, is the equipment that you need to perform. Now there are 2 different types of powerlifting: classic and equipped. In equipped, you're gonna be spending a lot more money because of course the equipment that you're using is meant to help you lift heavier weights. So that equipment in itself is gonna be a little bit more expensive. For me, I'm a raw powerlifter, so from my experience, we'll talk about raw powerlifting equipment. So just some of the things that would be helpful if you are a raw powerlifter is a belt, shoes, wrist wraps, knee sleeves, and a singlet. Thankfully, the world of powerlifting is growing and it's awesome, and that gives you a lot of equipment to choose from, a lot of places that you can find it, from very expensive to inexpensive equipment. The problem with that is that it's sometimes hard to tell what equipment is quality. Also, depending on the federation, there may be restrictions on the type of equipment that you can use. In the International Powerlifting Federation, there are bylaws and rules on the type of equipment that you can use. So go over to their website and check out the type of equipment that you're allowed to use. The list will be categorized by the company, the product, and they will also have restrictions on the size, color, etc., etc. So the first thing I want to talk about is your belt. Obviously not everyone uses a belt, but it would be helpful, especially when you're under heavier loads. Before I start, I just want to say that all my equipment is from Titan Support Systems. The reason why I chose Titan is because they do have very quality equipment, and also when I started powerlifting, I was in the state of Texas, so it was something that was close. I knew people that wore Titan, and like I said, they have very quality equipment. But anyway, my belt is a Texas 4x4 training belt. I went with the least expensive items because I knew that I was very new to powerlifting, and honestly, I would suggest the same if you don't necessarily know everything you're looking for. The belt that I chose was $59, and that was the least expensive belt. Now, if you're trying to get something that's customized and fancy, you're at least looking at $441. That was the most expensive belt on Titan's website. Next, you'll need a singlet. Again, there are rules on singlets. Do not confuse a singlet with a equipped suit. On the websites, they will generally tell you what you're looking for. The good thing on Titan's website that if you're in the IPF, they will have a note saying that this is a product that is IPF approved. My singlet, again, I went very basic, and I got the classic solid color singlet. My singlet costs $70, and the most expensive singlet that Titan has is $99.50. The top end of Titan singlets are more customized with the different colors and designs and whatever the case may be, but you can get a customized singlet that is something that only you own. But of course you're gonna be paying a little bit more money, but if that's what you want to do, more power to you. Next, you have shoes. So in the powerlifting community, people use different types of shoes. Some people use the heel lifted shoes, some people use wrestling shoes, some people use just regular flat bottom shoes, basketball shoes. I use very flat shoes. I'm not gonna really get into why people choose the different types of shoes that they choose. That's something for another video. However, this is something that you should look into because that price range is very wide. When you're going with a heel lifted powerlifting shoe, of course you're gonna be spending some money, but you can always look on Amazon. Like Titan, they do sell squat shoes. Other companies may sell another type of shoe. When I chose my shoes, that wasn't something that was on the top of my list. So I went the inexpensive route and I went to Walmart. They look similar to Chucks, but I promise you they are not. I don't even know what they're called. I don't even know if they have a name, but I spent no more than $24 on these shoes. Matter of fact, where I got these shoes they were hanging up on the little latch where all the other assortment of shoes were. So they weren't even in a box, but I promise you they work just fine. Next item that you may want to get are wrist wraps. Again, my equipment is Titan, so I got the Max RPM wrist wraps. Those were originally listed at $19, but right now they're on there for $14. The most expensive pair of straps that you will find on Titan is $33. Next item, and probably the most important thing to save your knees, are knee sleeves. I do know people that don't use knee sleeves, and good for you that your knees are better than mine. But to save those knees, especially in squatting, I would consider buying knee sleeves. Titan currently has two different types of knee sleeves, and I use the Yellow Jacket knee sleeves. For a pair of the sleeves, they are $75. The other pair that Titan has are less expensive than the ones that I have. Now again, the items that I told you about are from Titan. Those prices may vary depending on the company that you go to, may be cheaper, but there are a lot of companies where you're gonna spend a whole heck of a lot more than what I spent. With all the items put together, my total is $247. That might sound like a lot to some people, but to be honest, that is much on the inexpensive end when you're looking to start powerlifting. Y'all thought I was playing when I told you it was an investment. Some people may also consider getting equipment off Amazon, and there's nothing wrong with that. But again, make sure when you are looking for a federation, you are considering if there are any restrictions on the type of equipment that you can use. All right, so now that we got the biggest part out of the way, you now have your equipment, you now have been training with a coach, you've been in the gym, all those expenses are paid for. Now you're ready to do your first meet. So right off the bat, most likely you're gonna be starting at local meets, which is really good because you're not gonna have to necessarily do a lot of traveling. You're not gonna be spending a whole lot of money on entry fees. But that's not to say that those things you should still not consider. Some things that you need to think about is traveling costs, hotel fees, meet registration. So when you're looking at costs of traveling and hotels, some local meets, like I said, they may be in the city that you're in. So really, all you have to worry about are meet fees. Some meet fees are from $35, some meet fees are hundreds of dollars. It just depends on the size of the meet, what the stakes are at the meet, who's hosting the meet. When you're dealing with hotels, sometimes if there are bigger meets, you will have the opportunity to lift at the venue, and there may be discount rates. Sometimes you might not have that, and you're gonna be spending quite a lot of money on hotels depending on where the meet is. But the saving grace in a lot of situations are Airbnbs. So I'm gonna try to keep it brief, short, to the point. Our grand total when considering everything is $383.20, if my math is correct. Like I said from the beginning, you are going to deal with expenses in any other sport. It just depends on how bad you want to do the sport. Powerlifting is an investment, and the prices that I gave you and the things that I talked about are very basic in the sport. Obviously, as you grow in the sport, maybe you want to invest in different types of belts. Maybe you want to invest in different equipment. But I always suggest maybe starting with basic things until you start maturing in the sport and learning what works best for you. But guys, these are just a few important things that I thought I should share with you, and things that I wish I had known before I started powerlifting. For all the items that I listed in this video, I will put a link down in the description box so you can go right over and check their stuff out. For everybody watching right now, comment below. Tell me some things you guys wish you would have known about powerlifting before you started. If you have not started powerlifting yet and you still have questions, comment below. I can either make a video about it or I'll send you a message and we can talk about it. Everybody, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. For anybody that's watching and starting their journey, I hope this helps out a whole lot. Before you leave, like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you can know the next time that I post a video. If there are any other topics that you'd like me to talk about, send me a message, comment below, and we will do that. Before you leave, make sure you follow me on Instagram at lex.lifts. I know guys, I changed my handle. It's LEXX.lifts with an S. So go over, follow me, and I promise you, I'll have more content up soon, guys. Again, it's your girl Lex, and as always, repping for the 84 plus, because super heavyweights need love too.